Shades? No shades. Shades. Change it up a little bit. If only Camille would come on. We would have a show then. Maybe I should send you my rant so that you can insert some of it. It was pretty good. Hopefully I hit those same notes today. There she is. You look so beautiful.
I put a little
I love. Good, because I connected to my hotspot and I'm sitting outside.
Perfect.
Right on cue, baby. Okay, so
let's make a quick intro and then let's get her on.
Okay, and I'm excited because I think we have different perspectives on it. So, hey everyone, Sarah Lyon here with Camile Periat. Sorry.
Bikini show brought to you by Maximum Beauty.
This is a quick little exclusive bikini show for you guys. We are touching base on a topic that has been brought to our attention through social media and the grapevine, that there has been some comments made by fellow competitors, athletes in general, on Ashley Kaltwasser competing multiple times before the Olympia, already being Olympia qualified, and shall I quote, taking Olympia qualifications and spots away from other competitors. Did I get that right?
So we recently had Ashley on our show just a couple weeks ago, and we asked her, you know, like, why are you competing so much? And she explained she loves it. This is what Ashley does. And, you know, the comment what was kind of brought to how she was called out by another bikini pro was, you know, like basically like share the qualifications, give us a chance. And that's not the sport we're in. Like, this is a competitive individual sport, you know, and, you know, suggesting that you only stick to certain shows out of the year, you know, that is a strategy. In my opinion, it's a strategy, whether or not that's what you're going to follow, or, you know, you believe in a different, you know, path to get to the Olympia stage or to make a certain placing, you know, that is each individual's own journey with their coach, with themselves and their show selections.
Sure. Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. And I think my favorite way of just looking at it is just, at the end of the day, everyone has their own mindsets, right? And there are certain people that have certain mindsets that want them to continue to climb and achieve different goals, et cetera, et cetera. And Ashley has that mindset. So even though she's already made it and been at the top, that's not enough for her. And in the sense that she can keep going, she can keep getting better. She says that, she talks about that. And that's so much of what this sport is about. Ashley, last year, for instance, too, we know that it's not that she just won every show that she competed in. And at the end of the day, the legacies that have been left in the world, in sports, in business, in all different genres of life, those legacies wouldn't have been left unless they continued to pursue their goals and their dreams. And that's what Ashley's doing. She's leaving a legacy. You know, she's leaving a legacy within the IFBB Professional League, within the bikini division. Like, her name will forever be remembered and talked about within the bikini division of the IFBB Pro League. So unfortunately, not everyone agrees with the path that she's taking and the route that she's taking, but I think that there also are a lot of people that totally understand it and fully support that. I don't look at it as her taking away Olympia qualification. She is not guaranteed a W every single time that she gets on stage.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what it comes, you know, what to me, the funny part is that these certain pros have kind of spoken out about it. Of course, almost every competitor, when you see the list that comes out when you're, you know, as a pro, we get the list a week before. And yeah, there's times that you look at the list and you're like, ah, shit, this person's showing up. That means I've got to, like, you know, the competition's going to be even stiffer but that's what makes the whole sport fun, right? You don't like, you want to have like tough competition. You want to be compared to the best. And to be completely transparent, when I look at the shows that Ashley has competed in like regional shows, and there's a girl who, the girls that are like second and third to her, I remember those girls more so than some of the other bikini pros who have won shows, because like, damn, you're getting compared next to 3-time bikini Olympian champion. Right. If I was on, you know, compared to her in second or third, I would be just like that is badass. That, you know, and out of the Olympia, I think it was last year or something, I was like in a call out right next to her, and I, in my mind, I remember being on stage, and I was like, holy crap, I'm right next to Ashley. You know, like that was my mindset. Like you want to be compared to the best, and Olympia is easy journey. You know, I got married in 2013. I didn't go to my first Olympia till 2017. And there was times that I competed when the odds were so against me. And I thought I had, you know, if I could even break top 5, I would be stoked. And I won some of those, you know, so you never know. But it's, you know, that's the sport we're in. And it makes Olympia that much more special because it's so cutthroat.
All right. So guys, we are bringing on Ashley herself. We want to give you guys the upfront, up close, personal answered with Ashley, right? So let's get her on here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, yay. Okay.
Awesome.
Is the square on the right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Should be.
Long time no see.
Right? It's been forever. Yeah.
So thank you for coming on our show. This is like a perfect topic for the bikini show because it's a world. And we just had you on a couple weeks ago, and we were just talking about how why you are competing in these shows, and you mentioned that you love it, and you're doing this for practice, and you explained a lot of that. So why don't you give a little recap about kind of the situation that happened this weekend, and we'll dive.
Yeah. So you are totally right. There are so many reasons why I compete, and it's not to get points. It's not to steal away qualifications. It's to get practice, true experience. There is no practice quite like this stage. It's not the same. But, you know, building great memories as well is very important to mention. So what had happened to me this last week here is I actually had a few bikini pros have a problem with me qualifying or doing shows if I'm already qualified for the Olympia, which I was very disappointed to receive this kind of negativity from them, because these are girls that like I compete with, and in the past were super friendly to me, and I thought so highly of them, and I thought, wow, that girl's so nice and friendly. But I was really disappointed to see that. I'm not gonna say like word for word what she said, but you know, basically it called me selfish and that I'm a bad ambassador for a sport. It's displaying poor sportsmanship to compete, although girls are still wanting to compete for Olympia. And I blew my mind. So that was like one of the situations. And there's others that were kind of, you know, speaking out on social media along those same lines. But I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, is this real life right now? You're gonna come to my page and say this? Like, you're not gonna, you can tell me backstage instead of like smiling to my face. You can tell me backstage, or come message me, email me. But apparently they just wanted to make it so public and make it a big thing and make me out to be some sort of a villain that is just swiping up everyone's Olympia qualification, which is not the case.
Well, you know, we all have, most of us have, maybe you don't feel this way, but because you're Ashley Kaltwasser, but I mean, when the list comes out a week before the show and you're looking at the roster and there might be a name on there that you're like, ah, shit. But that's what makes you like, for me, when I see someone who's like competitive, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bust my butt off during this peak week. And like, it gets you in that mindset. And this is a sport, an individual sport. It's very competitive, and there is no easy road. Like you had mentioned in your story, there's no easy road. There's no, and maybe it's also the bikini division, because I know, you'll see like the men's physique division, there'll be kind of some like rivals and stuff. And for the most part, the bikini division's very like, like, hi, but it can be a little bit, some of it, there can be some backstabbing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to earn your way, and you have to expect that there's going to be tough competition at every single show.
Yeah, I agree. And I will put this out there as well. Like 99%, everyone like loves each other and is super supportive, but it's that few that's like, not a good look.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's one of those things, in one of those situations as well, that, that's why people compete within the MPC and the IFBB Pro League, to compete against the best, to really challenge themselves and push themselves to their limit. So the Olympia is the Olympia for a reason. And if your strategy, and I completely understand and totally agree with you that there is no better practice than being on actual stage, no matter, even if you're practicing on a stage, that is not the same with the judges and the crowd. It is a completely different environment. And to be in that environment and to engulf yourself, to set yourself up for the best chance to reclaim your title at the Olympia, you have to do what's best for you. And no one's ever told, Tom Brady to sit down. No one's ever told Michael Jordan to sit out a game. So, it's the same thing. It is the same thing.
And the thing is too, as I really have an issue with this kind of mentality, and I think anybody that is a pro and that takes this sport seriously should be pissed at that too. Not because of me, not because I'm offended, not because my feelings are hurt. I'm fine. It's because it's making our sport look bad, and it's making it like not. It's like you mentioned with that analogy, in any other sport, you don't see competitors complain the competition's too tough and you shouldn't show up because you're too good. You already won, so let somebody else win. You would never see that. So by portraying this mindset, it kind of diminishes like our sport in a way, if that makes any sense. Like if this happened to somebody else too, like if it was another bikini pro, I would be pissed. I'm like, yo, this is to be taken seriously. Like we're not, just playing TV baseball here. Yeah. Not everyone's going to get a chance to, play. You got to earn it.
Well, I think this also kind of, I think there's been an unspoken question or just thought that, if you're a top tier athlete, you only compete at these top level 1 tier shows. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been kind of like an unspoken question or thought, and you're kind of breaking that mold. And I'm competing wherever I want to and when I want to, and I'm doing it for my own personal reasons. And I think that's what's kind of maybe rubbed some people the wrong way. It's like, you don't, stay out of these shows. These are our shows to take over.
Well, no one had a problem with it though last year, when you were competing, no one had any issue with it last year. And that's also maybe because you didn't win every show last year.
Who knows?
Ashley's not guaranteed a W just because she signed up to compete.
And I wanted to go back a little bit, what Camille was talking about, the tier 1 shows. I totally get that. And you know what? I wanted to compete at the Arnold. I had eye surgery. I couldn't. There isn't that many tier 1 shows anyway. I would argue though that the clash that I did like last month, I don't think it was tier 1, but that 37 girls, that was tough. That wasn't a small show. And I would also add to that, there is no such thing as an easy pro show whatsoever. No such thing. Nothing. I don't ever go into a show thinking I'm going to win, assuming I'm going to win, thinking it's going to be easy. Heck to the no. If anything, it scares me more a little bit because it's unpredictable. You know why? Because a lot of new girls, rookies, will do these shows and you don't know anything about them. They could be really good. You don't know what you're working with. At least with shows, if you've done a show before, like, and you see familiar names, you're like, okay, this girl, she's usually pretty lean. If I want to compete with her, maybe I should get a little leaner. You know, you have like a little strategy. You have zero strategy with these new girls. And these new girls, they're no joke. The competition's tough. And I remember, you know, even when I was a rookie and coming, I'm sure no one thought I was a threat, and I won. You know, it's so unpredictable. But, you know, even with these tier 1 shows, sometimes a smaller show can be bigger than these shows. And also, I wanted to put out there too, I'm only doing like 2 more shows for Olympia. Like, it's not that much. There's a girl qualified for Olympia that's done 13. What the heck? And I will say this too, as a pro, my right is to compete wherever I want and everywhere. And a lot of times the reason I pick a certain show is because either like location, convenience, or there's a memory attached to it. For example, I'm doing Battle in the Desert here in 4 weeks. You know, I'm doing that because I won that show 2 years ago. I had the time of my life, so many great memories. I want to recreate that. You know, I did Muscle Contest Pacific USA 3 weeks ago because I've never competed in a muscle contest show. I want to experience that. I want to see what it's all about. So sometimes it's something like that. Sometimes it's a memory, convenience, timing, like how the shows line up and everything like that. So it's not like I'm picking the smallest shows to compete in, trying to steal up people's qualifications. That is not the case whatsoever.
A couple other factors that are important to mention, that this is also a business. So it's, you know, even if your goal was like, I want to get the most wins out of every bikini competitor and make it so no one can touch me, that's cool. That's an awesome goal to have. Like, that's pretty badass. If your goal is to block other people from entering the Olympia, hey, you know what? Myself and other bikini that are at the Olympia are like, go Ashley. People be like, all right, that was a bitchy thing to say, but many reasons why, and promoters are loving the fact that you're competing at these shows because you're bringing business, you're bringing attention to their venues. The promoters have been hit really, really hard, so it's a business. It's good for the sport. It's good for everybody, and it is what it is. I think people are maybe just getting a little stir crazy at home and bored.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that these girls are bad people. I think that, like, they had a severe misjudgment of what they thought was acceptable to, you know, post or to say. It's one thing to think these things, but to put them out for the public to see and to kind of villainize somebody and gang up on them for doing what they love, I think is an embarrassment, and they should be ashamed, to be quite honest. And I'm never that blunt, but shame on them.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't happen again. And I hope that people see that that's not an acceptable thing to do. And I would suggest, like, if you had a problem with it, like, don't come to me and complain and villainize me. You can write a letter to the people in charge if you want, that make the rules. I'm not breaking any rules. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So don't villainize me. Don't make me look like the bad person.
Right.
Do you think also that part of this also comes down from their leadership or possibly coaching? Because most, you know, coaches I know are, you know, wanting their athletes to go against the best and welcome tough competition. You learn from that. And I'm wondering if maybe, you know, it's, you know, certain
outside
that are getting kind of trickled down as well.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, sometimes this is like a pet peeve I have. They forget it's a professional sport, right? So although our sport isn't like other sports, like we don't play teams necessarily, it's not like that. It's still sport. So they think that somehow the universe owes them something, or I should move out of the way for them to make room for them. And I'm just like, I don't owe you anything. The universe doesn't owe you anything. You work for it. You accomplish it yourself. I didn't get to where I was blaming other people, blaming situations, complaining, making people look bad. I never got to where I was by doing any of that. Nobody has accountability these days. That's the thing. You'll find that a lot of times the girls that complain about stuff like this are the same ones that will say, oh, I didn't win my show last week because of I was too short. I was short. They don't like blonde girls or politics, something like that. So if I'm not the excuse, they're going to use another excuse. Nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to say, you know what? I didn't look my best this show. I could have done better. But you know what? Next time, I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to make it happen. Nobody wants to do it. Like, the lack of self-awareness is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I want to point out one thing, that when I was reading everything and seeing everything was going down, it made me want to jump into shows. And I was, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, this is just fueling Ashley to jump into every show.
All right. And I also wanted to say too, you know, with everything said, don't forget, I'm beatable. You can beat me.
Right.
It's been done. It was done, I don't know how many times last year. I'm not undefeated. I've never had an undefeated year. You can beat me.
Yeah.
Don't assume that because I'm competing that I'm automatically going to win, because I'm not thinking that. I sure as heck am not thinking that. I'm thinking, oh, these other girls, man, that girl looks good. Oh, man, her glutes are on point. Oh, my gosh. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So what the heck are you're coming into a show with a losing mindset already. Don't think because I'm showing up, you're going to automatically lose to me. That is false.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question. Why did you not do the New York Pro? Just out of curiosity.
I love this question. You know, I think that would have been a great show for me to do, except for the past 2 weeks, I did 2 shows in a row already, which was pushing it. So I did back-to-back shows. I did the Clash and I did Pacific USA. And honestly, I'm surprised I hung on that long, because I'm not really good at staying like super 100% contest ready week to week. And I did it for 2 weeks, which I was already like, whoa, 3 weeks. That would have been really tough. That would have been tough. That would have been, I wouldn't have been looking my best. That's for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Ashley, I'm glad. I think that really just allows the record to be set straight, if you will, and gives.
Hopefully, it didn't come across too ranty.
No, I don't think so at all. And I think at the end of the day that there needs to be a little bit more conversation within the bikini division. I think that sometimes there isn't a lot, and I think a lot of people do tend to tiptoe around because we're females and we all are all in our feelings. But at the end of the day, this needed to be addressed, and that's why I wanted to make sure. Yeah,
totally. I understand. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. We appreciate you. And I love watching your success and watching you continue to climb the totem pole, if you will, because you're amazing and you are the GOAT, in my opinion. So I like to continue to watch your legacy be built. So congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot of people like rooting for you for the next shows.
Thank you. Yay.
Always. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for your time. And we will let you go, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye. Well, Camille, that was so informative and helpful, I think, for people to really understand better, you know, social media, texting, posting things. It's hard to really understand someone's tone of voice and how they're exactly feeling.
No, it was great. And I think, you know, I think it kind of, this whole thing, even though maybe it was like way blown out of proportion, and it did kind of victimize Ashley a bit there, but she had quite a bit of people in her defense. But it did address a topic that I think a lot of people have talked about. You know, you and I have even talked about this one-on-one. And, you know, so it was a good thing that actually happened. And I know the girls who, you know, kind of singled her out a little bit on her posts. And in their defense, they're great women, you know, and I think,
and I don't,
that this just kind
of, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to say that by no means does this have anything, like, I would just like to put the record straight that we are by no means saying anything poor about Ashley or the girls that, you know, had made comments on her post. Like, we're not questioning their humanity at all. You know, I have met and spoken with both of those girls and I have nothing bad to say at all. You know, it's just a difference of opinion, and we're all grown adults and we're all having a conversation about what is happening. And this is just our perspective of it. We're not judging or saying anything else or pursuing anything else.
Hence leaving the names out, obviously, but you know, I think it's a great topic. It's something that a lot of people probably wondered, like, why is, you know, someone in that caliber competing so much? But you know, to have a mindset of like trying to get an easy win or hoping that someone doesn't show up. It's like when you go to a show, or if you are competing and you're, you know, you look around and you're like, wow, everyone here is so on point, like almost like you were expecting people that there was a show and they forgot to prep. You know, you have to expect every time there's going to be these top athletes. And to be completely honest right now, because of COVID, you know, I'm amazed by the caliber of everybody that's competing right now, but there's not a whole lot of top athletes competing when you normally do see multiple top athletes and Olympians competing in shows. Right now, you only have Ashley and Attila that competed, you know, at the New York. But for the most part, it's a lot of rising pros that are making their way. And while some of these women might not realize that maybe they haven't gotten an actual win, they're making a big name for themselves because they have been next to some of these names, or they are the ones that are actually competing at the shows that are happening when a lot of people have kind of had to stand out because of COVID.
Building your platform and building your name in this industry, you get that by being consistent. It's not just about first place. You know, I have seen it, I have watched it, I know it for a fact. Staying consistent, even in the first call out, just staying consistent within that range allows you to build a platform. It's not just about first place. Well, I mean, I understand with the Olympia, but too, you also have points. There are other factors.
Let's take it to Jennifer Dory for an example. Okay, she is, when you think of Jennifer Dory, you think of her now as like top 5 in the bikini world, and she just had her first pro win. She has been to Olympia, she has been to the Arnolds, and she's a top name, and she had her first win. So it's not about winning. Granted, right now it's how you're getting to Olympia, but I mean, there's still the top 3 with points, you know, and there's a lot of opportunities, and it also comes down to strategy. So one thing I would do, like when I was fighting for my way to Olympia, if there was girls that you're competing against every show during that cluster of the season, maybe you got to wait till the next, you know, take a little time out till, if you've been against somebody who's beaten you once or twice and you're having a hard time getting past them, maybe you got to sit out a little bit, or wait till the list comes out and make your decisions. Maybe, I mean, I've had to make decisions Wednesday before a show. I'm like,
stay ready, people. Stay ready.
I'm flying to Florida.
Yeah, I mean, crap, it's the truth. I mean, you have to be strategic. Your coach should be strategic. These should be conversations that are being had, and you know, and you should just keep working harder and growing. And I think that at the end of the day, it just really showcases that everyone's entitled to their own opinion on things, and that, you know, different game anyways, so different mindsets for different people, and that's just what it's highlighting. That's all.
Yep, I agree. Well, that was fun. That was fun to squash that. And
on to the next, everybody. On to the next.
In the bikini world, we don't get that kind of stuff. Like sometimes I'll see like there's like little quarrels going on in the men's physique world or the bodybuilding, and it's fun. The bikini world, we're all so just kind of like sweet and nice. So it was kind of fun to have a little bit of just like that. I think everyone's just at home like, ooh, entertainment.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why we needed to address it too. Definitely.
So thank you for watching, you guys. If you have any comments or feelings about this, comment below, like, subscribe, and comment below. We would love to hear your opinion.
Yes. Yes, we want to hear it, and maybe we'll get on and chat about it more when we get more opinions if they're different. So we'll see. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Sarah Lyon.
Neil Periat. Thanks for watching.
Bye.